This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
The White House. Liberals not happy about the occupant of that house, and that makes me very happy. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. I'm David Brody. Coming up, speaking of liberals, they're up in arms because Kilmer, Abrego, Garcia, there he is, the, quote, Maryland man. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not a Maryland man. Anyhow, he's back in ICE custody, but they're not happy at all about that. Oh, by the way, a judge now is saying, hold on, you can't deport him quite yet to Uganda or Costa Rica or wherever. Maybe they should deport him to Chris Van Hollen's house, and then they can go to El Salvador together. We'll talk about it in a moment. First, though, T. Bates standing by with the latest headlines from the Real America's Voice newsroom, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
President Trump is set to host his cabinet at the White House in just a couple of hours. Today's meeting comes on the heels of the commander-in-chief signing an executive order on Monday, basically saying that he's willing to prosecute anyone who burns an American flag. The president then met with South Korea's president in the Oval Office to discuss everything from trade to President Trump's relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un. The South Korean leader also emphasizing President Trump's standing on the world stage.
And one thing that I wanted to say to you is that America's role, not as a keeper of peace, but a maker of peace, is being more is emerging more evidently.
유럽, 아시아, 아프리카, 중동 여러 곳에서의 전쟁들이 이제는 트럼프 대통령님의 역할로 휴전하고 평화가 찾아오고 있습니다.
Many wars in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, and in the Middle East are coming to peace because of the role that you are playing.
Meantime, the man who has become somewhat of a poster child for the fight over President Trump's illegal immigrant deportation policies remains in ICE custody this morning. Kilmer Abrego Garcia was arrested on Monday during his ICE check-in. The detention comes just days after he was released from jail in Tennessee, related to a federal criminal case against him there. On Monday, a U.S. district judge blocked Abrego Garcia's deportation to Uganda until a hearing is held to determine whether the Trump administration will allow the accused MS-13 gang member to contest his removal to Africa.
Oh, he will no longer terrorize our country. He's currently charged with human smuggling, including children. The guy needs to be in prison. He doesn't need to be on the streets like all these liberals want him to be.
Abrego Garcia's lawyers say the Trump administration offered their client a plea deal. In return for pleading guilty to 2 human smuggling charges, Abrego Garcia would have served his prison time here in the United States and then been deported to Costa Rica. When he turned down that deal, the administration began making plans to send him to Uganda instead. President Trump is moving forward with plans to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Cook is facing a federal investigation over allegations of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Cook, which was also posted on Truth Social, the president writing, "I have determined that there is sufficient cause to remove you from your position." Last week, he threatened Cook with firing if she didn't resign first. The head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency referred her to the Justice Department for prosecution, accusing Cook of mortgage fraud because she listed 2 primary residences, one in Michigan, a second in Atlanta. In his letter, 47 also writing, "The American people must be able to have full confidence in the honesty of the members entrusted with setting policy and overseeing the Federal Reserve. In light of your deceitful and potentially criminal conduct in a financial matter, they cannot, and I do not have such confidence in your integrity," he writes. That's a quick check of your headlines. Let's get a quick check of your forecast now from Tracy Anthony.
Thanks, Terrence. Millions of Americans are feeling temperatures a little more like fall after a big cold front worked across the country. And you can see all of us trending below average from Boston down to Little Rock, even Dallas, going to be in the 80s, but even out west, Vegas, going to be 12 degrees below average for this time of year. So enjoy the fall-like temperatures with widespread 70s and 80s across the board. Now, there are a few hot spots. Areas like Seattle, you had record heat yesterday getting to 91 degrees, and you remain under heat advisories for the day today. We even have some extreme heat warnings still in place. So most of the activity is out across the western U.S. where we do have monsoonal moisture that's going to be working across the region, and that's going to kick up some strong rumbles of thunder, and we can't rule out some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, kicking up scenes like this. This was a haboob or a dust storm yesterday in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Back to you.
Tracy bringing us that forecast, one of our friends from Weather Nation. Up next, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly changing his strategy when it comes to a ceasefire in Gaza. So here's the question. Does this mean that a deal is imminent? We'll talk about it. First, though, a quick look at this day in history. It was on this date in 1968 that the Democratic National Convention got underway in Chicago. The convention was marked by massive protests against the Vietnam War and how the eventual Democratic presidential nominee supported that war. The demonstrations led to National Guard troops and police clashing with protesters. Many were beaten by law enforcement. The violence even got into the convention hall itself. More American Sunrise coming your way in 2 minutes.